This video will cover the Massachusetts State Police. I'm Nicholas, and this is the Law Enforcement Agency Information Channel. The Massachusetts State Police, or MSP for short, is a uniformed Massachusetts state-level law enforcement agency that falls under the Massachusetts Executive Office of Public Safety and Security. The Massachusetts State Police, or MSP for short, is the primary state-level law enforcement agency in Massachusetts and is responsible for enforcing state motor vehicle, traffic, and criminal laws throughout the state of Massachusetts. They primarily operate on highways and property owned or operated by the state of Massachusetts, such as interstate highways, such as I-90, state highways, state roadways, state railroads, the Massachusetts State House, which is the Capitol building, the state Capitol building of Massachusetts, the Logan International Airport, which is owned by Massport, a state agency, a Massachusetts state agency, the Worcester Regional Airport, which is also owned by Massport, and etc. Anyway, some specific duties of the Massachusetts State Police include patrolling, protecting, and policing interstate highways, state highways, and state property, responding to emergencies at or nearby interstate highways, state highways, and state property. Working with local, state, and federal law enforcement agencies, providing 24/7 security providing 24/7 security to the governor of Massachusetts. Sorry, my computer almost shut off there. Investigating state crimes, especially those that take place on interstate highways, state highways, or state property, such as homicide and etc. Assisting county sheriff offices in patrolling county highways and unincorporated areas, since there aren't that many county sheriff deputies in Massachusetts as there are in other states, and etc. Sorry, I lost it there. What was I saying? So the Massachusetts State Police is currently the largest law enforcement agency in New England, in New England and Massachusetts, and is and currently has approximately 3,000 active employees, the majority of which being sworn law enforcement officers, specifically state troopers, it frequently coordinates. The Massachusetts State Police frequently coordinates with fellow law enforcement agencies, from federal, state to local, including the Boston Police Department, the Boston Police Department, the Salem Police Department, the Springfield Police Department, the Worcester Police Department, and etc. However, with that being said, they primarily, or they work the best. I should say this. They work the best with law enforcement agencies that operate at the same level as it is. Again, this is a very common thing for law enforcement agencies to work the best with law enforcement agencies from their level. In the case of the Massachusetts State Police, since it's a state law enforcement agency, that would mean its best partners are fellow state law enforcement agencies. Some specific state law enforcement agencies it works with include the Massachusetts Environmental Police, the Massachusetts Bay Transportation Authority Police, the Massachusetts Port Authority Police, or Massport Police, The Massachusetts State University Police, the University of Massachusetts Police, the Massachusetts Department of Corrections, which actually falls under the same department as the Massachusetts State Police. But anyways, and yeah, etc. Multiple others. But that's really it for their responsibilities, and yeah. The Massachusetts State Police has statewide jurisdiction throughout the state of Massachusetts to enforce state laws. They primarily maintain operational and investigative authority over property and violations of laws established by the state of Massachusetts. Their troopers, Massachusetts State Police troopers, are authorized by the Massachusetts general laws, which is the state laws of Massachusetts, to enforce state laws, carry firearms, issue warrantless arrests, and carry out warrants. So again, general law enforcement powers. But yeah, that's really it for their jurisdiction and authority. Massachusetts State Police troopers train for approximately 25 to 30 weeks at the Massachusetts State Police Academy, which is located in New Braintree. New Braintree. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correct. New Braintree, Massachusetts. The Massachusetts State Police Academy tests its troopers both physically and mentally, and is arguably one of the most rigorous and paramilitary styled state police academies in the U.S. They are trained in Massachusetts State Police troopers are trained in physical tactics, firearm tactics, vehicle tactics, investigative tactics. But yeah, especially the main ones are physical tactics, vehicle tactics, gun tactics, and yeah, those are the main ones. But they are also trained in investigative tactics and protective tactics. But yeah, that's really it. The rank structure of the Massachusetts State Police from high to low is in the following order: colonial, which is followed by lieutenant colonial, which is followed by major, which is followed by detective captain, which is followed by captain, which is followed by detective lieutenant, which is followed by lieutenant, which is followed by sergeant, which is followed by trooper. The Massachusetts State Police reports to the Massachusetts Secretary of Public Safety and Security, who reports to the Governor of Massachusetts. The Massachusetts State Police is broken down into divisions, in which there is number one, the Division of Field Services. They are responsible for conducting the majority of field duties of the Massachusetts State Police. This includes patrolling, policing, and protecting interstate highways, state highways, and state property throughout Massachusetts, responding to emergencies at such locations, and etc. The Division of Field Services is composed of the majority of uniformed Massachusetts State Police troopers, or the majority of uniformed law enforcement officers of the Massachusetts State Police. They operate throughout the state. The specific area for which a trooper primarily operates at, a trooper of the Division of Field Services operates at, is based upon what barrack he or she is stationed at. And if you don't know what a barrack is, it's basically a term used in both law enforcement and the military that refers to a specific area for which a law enforcement officer or member of the military primarily operates or has primarily authority within. However, with that being said, don't get me wrong, even though they primarily operate within those specific, even though they primarily operate within the specific areas of those barracks, they still have authority and jurisdiction throughout the state. They just have special authority and within those areas. That is where their primary responsibility is. Anyways, what was I going to say? Oh yeah. So anyways, there are different barracks of the Division of Field Services. These barracks include Troop A. The Troop A, which patrols northeast of Massachusetts, the northeast side of Massachusetts. Then there's Troop B, which patrols the west side of Massachusetts. Then there is Troop C, which patrols the central side of Massachusetts. Then there is Troop D, which patrols the southeast side of Massachusetts. Then there is Troop D. Then there is Troop F, which patrols Massport locations. So this includes the Logan International Airport, and etc. And then there is what was after Troop F? Then there is Troop H, which patrols the. My mouse is freaking out right now. I don't know why. It's actually really annoying. Then there's Troop H, which patrols. Which explicitly patrols the city of Boston. This includes the Massachusetts State House and state-owned buildings within the city of Boston. But yeah, they primarily operate the city of Boston. Troop H primarily operates the city of Boston. So yeah, that's it for the Division of Field Services. Added on top of that, then there is the Division of Investigative Services. They are responsible for conducting investigations into state crimes. They're responsible for conducting investigations into state crimes, especially those that take place on state property, they provide intelligence and assistance to other divisions such as the Division of Field Services, they are also divided into barracks, except they are not called barracks. They are called state police detective units or detective stations, and they are stationed throughout the Massachusetts. They are stationed within different counties of Massachusetts. Then after that, there is the Division of Administrative Services. They are responsible for administrating and managing the Massachusetts State Police. They are kind of composed of the head command of the Massachusetts State Police. After that, there is the Division of Homeland Security and Preparedness. They are responsible for ensuring the public safety of Massachusetts by combating terrorism and public safety threats. They also very much work with with other divisions such as the Division of Field Services and the Division of Investigative Services. But additionally, they also very often work with the Department of Homeland Security. When jurisdiction overlaps. After that, there is the Division of Training and Standards. They are responsible for training the employees and troopers of the Massachusetts State Police. They are also responsible for setting the standards of the Massachusetts State Police. So training standards and all that. So that's basically it for their divisions. the Massachusetts State Police currently equips its troopers with Sig Saucer P320s, which are basically handguns. But additionally, aside from their service weapons, they do also occasionally carry rifles and shotguns and other forms of and other firearms. It really the type of gun they're using really depends on the situation. However, all Massachusetts State Police troopers carry the Sig Saucer P320. That is their service weapon, as I mentioned earlier. But yeah, for example, during when the Massachusetts State Police Troop F also equips its troopers with patrol rifles. With patrol rifles or assault rifles that are attached to the trooper's vest from a sling when patrolling areas, high risk areas like high-risk mass port locations such as the Logan International Airport, which can easily be targeted for a shooting or a terrorist attack. But aside from that, troopers are also, aside from their firearms, troopers are also equipped with body cameras. All Massachusetts State Police troopers are equipped with body cameras. They really started. The Massachusetts State Police really started requiring body cameras after an incident in 2018. I believe it was something about how troopers were going overtime without permission. But aside from that, when it comes to equipment and non-lethal weapons, troopers typically carry tasers, batons, pepper spray, handcuffs, beanbag shotguns, radar guns, and etc. And radios and etc. But when it comes to uniforms, troopers from the Massachusetts State Police will typically wear light blue shirts with navy blue pants, light pants, and then they also very often wear long boots. So yeah. And then additionally, on their polos or shirts, they will typically have a badge and a silverish badge and other accessories. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. They also wear a Stetson hat. It's similar. It's a classic trooper hat. But however, higher rank troopers may wear other more formal hats. I forgot the type. I don't know how to describe it, but typically the type of hat that a trooper will wear is typically based on its rank. And speaking of ranks, if you see a insignia or a rank tab, or a stripe, a yellow stripe. Usually it looks like, how do I describe this? Usually it looks like, do I got paper here? Let me see this. Usually it looks like, if you've studied law enforcement, you know what that is. Different. Typically there are more stripes for troopers who are higher rank. And then troopers who are really high rank will have bars, silver or gold bars, or stars. So yeah. But anyways, so that's really it for their uniforms, equipment, and weapons. So yeah.